The 49th parallel. 49th parallel being our existing boundary today between us and Canada. And Great Britain was allowed to maintain its claim on all the territory north of the 49th, which allowed both parties to be satisfied enough to avoid war. The Oregon country then became the Oregon Territory in 1844. Oregon became a state in 1859. Washington, Idaho, and Montana became U.S. territories in 1859. And in 1959, Oregon was celebrating its first 100 years of statehood. The Oregon Zoo Railway train was unveiled for the very first time right here in Washington Park, right up there at the Oregon Zoo Railway train station. And one of the other trains is up there right now. There are 3 that run on those tracks, but before we go any farther with that, you want to look straight out ahead of the trolley over the top of that building, and there's Mount Hood again. But built in 1926 and added to the National Registry of Historic Places in 1984. That pink building you saw there, the tall one, is the tallest building in Portland. It's a U.S. Bancorp Tower and is affectionately known here in the city as Big Pink. Coming up here on the right-hand side, this reservoir is about to open up in front of you. That reservoir used to be the original, or is the original site of the Oregon Zoo in the early 1870s. And all that zoo was one man's collection of exotic animals that his seafaring merchant friends and sailor friends brought back to him from ports all over the world. That reservoir was mandated by the government to be covered for safety reasons, like the other open-air water reservoirs. But if you look there, around the top edge of the basin, you see the railing and the stone is all original there, down at the bottom, and then the stone of the pump house there in the back, that's also original. So this site was declared an historical landmark and was added to the was exempted, from those covering regulations because it was declared a historical landmark. Amusement park, complete with a roller coaster and a dance hall for the grown-ups. Came right down this hill. Need to make a right turn down here at Burnside Street, which is the signal light. But it couldn't make a sharp turn. It was a cable car, so its right of way went right through here. These cars are parked here today. And this building, when it was built here on the corner, had to accommodate both the cable car and the traffic here at Vista and Burnside. That's why it looks like a triangle. As we cross Burnside, we're crossing the north-south divide between North and South Portland. Just cross from southwest into northwest. This is Northwest 23rd Avenue, where the Northwest 23rd Avenue Restaurant District is. If you're planning on hopping off and having a mid-afternoon snack, a great place to do that is right down here at stop number 5. It's also known as the Northwest Trendy 3rd Avenue Restaurant District because people think it's hip to eat, drink, and shop down here. This mansion here on the left-hand side is an exception to the rule of single-family mansions. That never was a single-family mansion. It's always been apartments, but it's a great, because the Alphabet District it's called that here because all the east-west streets that cross 23rd here are named in the letters of the alphabet. And this will help you if you're hopping off at stop number 5 because our stop is at 23rd and Irving. Irving starts with an I. All these streets starting back up above Burnside there start with the letters of the alphabet in order. So all you have to do is remember the top of the alphabet's at the top of the hill, bottom of the alphabet's at the bottom of the hill, and just find any east-west street in 23rd when you're ready to come back to the stop and walk towards the I in Irving. Friendly, you can find any number of your favorite foods and drinks here without walking very far at all. Welcome back, folks. There's also a back entrance or exit.
Somebody is sitting there.
We got everybody we should have? All right. Pretty dilapidated. I point those out because the Victorians that were built over 100 years ago were made mostly of wood. And you can imagine how that didn't fare too well in the elements, all the wind and the rain that we have here. And so a lot of those old Victorians were torn down. And I hope that's not the fate of those three, but very well might be. Two houses down here a little further that we'll see in a minute. You'll see that they were built to last and built to make a statement. And they'll be coming up here in just a couple minutes. We're coming up on the most desirable neighborhood to live in the early 1900s here in Portland. And this neighborhood down here, a couple blocks from here, was not desirable because it was anything special about the surroundings, but more that people wanted running water in their homes, and the existing water pump technology of the day was limited. Water could not be pumped any higher up the hill from the river into people's homes and right down here at 19th Avenue, and everybody knew that, so they targeted this street. Before we get there, the Oregon Jewish Museum's on the left-hand side, and Mel Blanc, who's the voice of Donald Duck in A Man of a Thousand Voices, was honored there not too long ago. As we come